but we need to look at what racism has brought to the table, especially from 1492 when the Muslims or the Moors were destroyed in Spain. The first wave of people that went to the Caribbean islands came from Spain itself. This is before they even went into West Africa. So the first populations that were enslaved in the Caribbean islands were Muslims.
We wanted to spark a bit of a reaction, like we wanted people to engage with the conversation. Like I'm quite ignorant, I'm not Muslim, like I'm quite ignorant to even the Black Muslim cause, so it was very fascinating for me when I spoke to a couple of the people from the UWE Somali society and found out how they felt about their identities, etc.
No white person is better than a black, no black better than a white, other than with your actions and through your piety.
In becoming Muslim is when I faced actual racism, which made me question like, oh, what is this? This is confusing. I thought we were all one. I thought we were the same thing.
There's an Arab slave trade of sub-Saharan Africans, of black people, in the same way that there's an American slave trade. And that itself has residues in the way that you look at the relations between the continent of Africa and people that will be labelled as black and the Arab world today. You look at the way Ethiopian maids are treated in places like Saudi Arabia.
There is, the Islam itself does not make any difference between any human being, whether it's brown, black, or white. But we Muslims are. We make this difference. Why? Because we are away. We are away from the book of the truth. We are away from what the Prophet Muhammad said.
Perhaps it's more nuanced than that. Like, you can't just offer a Quran to everyone and say, read it. And you're going to change your opinion, because people want to interpret the text for their own agendas. And being racist is one of them.
I think we have to kind of question race relations and the question of, does Islam like black people, beyond just what the Prophet said and beyond the text and beyond the fundamentals of the religion.
So my issue with, even when we speak about on Twitter, that does Islam like black people, people are always like, oh yeah, Islam is not racist, which is actually true, yes. But Muslims are, and Muslims don't really kind of think about black people when we talk about Muslims.
My identity is something that, as I said, I carry it around. It's very present. You see my blackness and you see my Islam. But for many people, the two don't go together. You're either black or you're Muslim. You're never the two shall meet.
One thing that white supremacy does very well is it homogenizes us and says that we're all the same. But no, we're all, well, we're not all black in this room, but most of us are black in this room. But I'm as ethnically and phenotypically different to the Somalians in the audience, and to the Sudanese people in the audience, and to the Eritreans, if there are any Eritreans in the audience.
Somalis didn't feel accepted by African and Caribbean society, and I don't know if this was, I don't know if the lack of acceptance came from the fact that we were Muslim, or because we look a little bit different to the stereotypical black person.
Do black people, non-Muslim black people, do enough for black Muslims? I think that's a really interesting point, because perhaps black people are in even more proximity to whiteness than black Muslims.
Maybe we should focus on the things that we share in common rather than the things that we differ in. Because we'll actually find that, whoa, there's so much more that we have in common than these little things that we do differ on.
Like, there's white supremacy, and it's strong, and it's destroying the globe at the moment. I'm not gonna lie. And there's climate change, and there's all sorts of nonsense going on. There's some people of colour states which have huge, massive climate emissions. There's varying degrees of wealth within people of colour states, etc. But there are Muslim states who are suffering hard under white supremacy and who are at the bottom of the rung. There's places like Yemen, which is going through one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world at the moment, and which is really in a bad state. The whole continent of Africa, from Somalia over to Nigeria, over to Niger, is currently impoverished and is getting exploited by states like the UK, like France, like the US, etc., for resources, for all sorts of stuff. And if we're gonna fight this, then there has to be some kind of united front.